Okay, welcome to the lecture on Unit 1, Week 3 project. And this week we are going to be finishing this. We're going to be labeling the mean, the median, the mode, the range, the variance, and the standard deviation. And you'll notice I actually have everything already done. But I'm going to go ahead, let's just go ahead and delete that. We are done. You should have this in here already. It should have populated already from your first page. If it's not already populated, you might want to just go ahead and pause it for a minute and make sure, just, literally go to the first page and copy this, and paste it. So like this, from Texas or not, I'm going to do equals this. I'm going to copy it, Control C, and I'm just going to put it right there, from Texas or not. Next thing that I'm going to do, here, it says compute and interpret the mean, the median, and the mode for all collected data, whichever is appropriate for each variable. And then compute and interpret the range, variance, and standard deviation for all collected data. Now, when I say for all collected data, what I really mean is just your 10. I want to make a quick point about something that I noticed. We have lots of different types of data. We have right here, technically, duration, response ID of the following, so on and so forth. Some of you guys, you have things like name, album, things where, album title, things where there is like just a ton of unique names. Okay, like for instance, response ID. I wouldn't necessarily consider this nominal, ordinal, anything to that effect. What I would refer to this as is an identifier variable. Okay. In other words, it's a unique identifier that cannot be grouped, it cannot be quantified, nothing about it can really be documented. And so if you have like players' names, or if you have like song names, if you have anything to that effect, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go like this, go boom, and say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything with that. This right here can't do any math, can't do any organization, and look through it and be like, what are the ones where I literally can do absolutely nothing with it? And you're going to have a few. Here, that should be the only one if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking through all this. I don't see any other one where there's another one, but let me pull up a different data set really quick. Okay, so I've got a data set really quick. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up the Spotify data, population data, song data. So I've got the data from the songs right here, and song name. That right there, can't do anything with that. Not a thing, because every single one is different. Now, artist, you can do something with it, but it would be hard, right? For instance, there are 18,836 of these. So if I want to make a frequency table, or if I want to make a pivot table, I want to show you guys something really quick. If I want to make a pivot table, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do insert, pivot table. So I've got all this information. I'm going to put it into a new worksheet. Okay, and say I want to do something with the artist. Okay, I want to know for the artist, which artist has the most songs in this data set. Okay, these are the songs that, a random sampling of 18,834 songs. And so I am going to go right here and I'm going to say, okay, I want you to sort largest to smallest. Okay, Kanye West has 82, Lady Gaga has 75. Then you have all these ones have all these different number of songs. So say for instance, I don't want to deal with all of them. Say for instance, I only want to deal with the individuals, in this case 31 and 31. I'm going to stop at 31 with or 30 or more songs. I'm only wanting to keep the ones that have 30 or more songs, and I'm just going to analyze these. So of the ones that have 30 or more songs, I'm going to do this. So I highlight the ones that have 30 or more songs. So I sorted them. Notice I right-clicked and I said sort. Largest to smallest, except unclick, and I click sort, largest to smallest, and then I highlight the ones that I want to keep, and then I put right click, and I'm going to do, hold on, I only want that. Okay, so filter, keep only selected items. So what it does is it gets rid of everything else. It gets rid of everything else. So then I'm able to keep just these right here. So we've got artists with most songs, and then frequency. So that's a little thing just to make your life a little bit easier with analyzing data. You don't have to analyze all of it. You just have to say exactly what it is that you're analyzing. So it's understood this frequency table is a collectively exhaustive frequency table of all of the artists that have 30 or more songs on the list. Okay? And so then we're able to do this and, you know, have all this information. Now, I want to show you a few more things with frequency tables. So we've got this frequency table right here. That's a count. And we can also go right here, count of artist, double click, and we can, let's see here, show values as percent of grand total. So we did that earlier. So you can see who has what percent among them. Then we can do, let's see here, what else can we do? We can do percent of running total from largest to smallest. So this doesn't make quite as much sense because this is all nominal data. And in just a minute, I'm going to also show you how to do the min, the max. I'm going to show you how to do the standard deviation, the variance. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this. But all that to be said, you don't have to deal with all the data. You know, sort them from largest to smallest and only deal with the data that you want to deal with. So, and make sure that you label it very clearly. This is the data that I'm dealing with. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm not going to save that. Okay, so we are now right here. We need to calculate the mean, the median, the mode, the range, the variance, and the standard deviation, and we're just going to go ahead in one fell swoop and do it all at one time. Okay, now mean, mode, mean, median, mode, and I'm going to put 3 more in here. Okay, insert. So mean, median, mode. So where I am is I'm in the tab with all of your data. Okay. And what else? We need mean, median, and mode. I'm going to copy this, Control C, and then I'm going to go clean data with text, and I'm going to go where it says mean, and I'm going to click on the little button, the down button, and it says paste, and I'm going to transpose. And so when I transpose, it goes mean, median, mode, range, variance, and standard deviation. So we've got the mean. The first thing that we need to do is, well, I'm going to delete all this information. And you're like, wow, you're deleting a lot of information. But once you see how quickly this goes, you'll understand. Okay, so equals average. Okay, there is no function for mean, so it's average. Average, and I want it to take the average of this 174. And so I clicked on the 174, the very first record in the duration variable. So I clicked on that, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to press Shift. And I'm going to click on the very last one, and when I press Shift and click on the very last one, it highlights the entire column. And press Enter. And notice right there, it gave me the average of that entire column. Great. Okay, so B11 to B231. So what I'm going to do right now is a little trick. I'm going to copy just that, B11 to B231. Okay, so I clicked on it, and I went up into here, and I highlighted B11 to B231, Control C. And now I'm going to do equals median, Control V, okay, equals mode, and then I'm going to put a parentheses, a left parentheses, press Control V again, equals, now can I do range? Unfortunately, I can't do range. So in order to do range, I have to do equals max, and I say, give me the max of that entire group, and from that max I need you to subtract the min. So equals max minus min. So it's saying calculate first the maximum and then calculate the minimum and give me the difference between the two of them. And then I'm going to press enter, and then I'm going to say equals variance. Now there's two variances. There's variance of the population and there's variance of a sample. And I'll tell you, with a group this large, it really does not matter too much, but technically this is just a sample, so I'm going to go with variance of a sample. And once again, Control V, and then I'm going to do standard deviation equals ST deviation. So once again, standard deviation of a population or standard deviation of a sample. I'm going to click on standard deviation of a sample, press Control V, and so I just did that for the entire column of duration. So you're like, okay, that's great. So I have to do that for each and every one of these? No, you don't. Okay, so let me show you what you got to do. Highlight these, like this, highlight them, and you see this little button on the bottom right-hand corner, this little whatever thing, that square. Hover over it until you see it turn into that cross. And when you see it turn into that cross, click, hold it down, and drag it all the way over to the right. And all of a sudden, you will see every single one of these is done all the way down. Every single one of these is done all the way down. Now there's a little problem, okay? What about all these? All these errors. Well, some of you, I think for some individuals who are running parallel systems and whatnot, you might not see an error. You might actually see like something calculated. But if it is a text field or if it's a qualitative field, it doesn't work. So we're just going to go ahead and delete all the ones that are qualitative, because if it's qualitative, those are the ones that we've got to calculate by hand. But for all the ones that are quantitative, guess what? You're already done. So you're already done for the ones that are quantitative. So let's take a look. We've got quantitative, quantitative, quantitative. So year of first Chick-fil-A. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put year of first Chick-fil-A. What is the year you first ate Chick-fil-A? I'm going to go Control C. And this is actually kind of unique. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to highlight all of this and I'm going to press Control C. And then I am going to go in here and I'm going to put paste values. Paste values. And the reason why is I'm about to transpose this. And if I wouldn't have pasted the values, what would have happened is it would have just pasted the formulas. And if I would have pasted just the formulas, here, let me show you what would happen if I just pasted the formulas. Notice all the formulas are right here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to press Control C. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste just the formulas. Okay, year first Chick-fil-A. First of all, press Control V and you'll notice, what happened? Well, it's pasting it, in a column. Well, I don't want to paste it in a column. I want to paste it in a row. So I'm going to paste it in a row. Maybe it'll be better when I paste it in a row. Nope, still the same thing. The reason why that happened is because you're pasting formulas. You're not pasting values. But we need to paste the values. So we're going to undo that. I pressed Control Z. And so we're going to highlight all of this. And we're going to press Control C or copy. And then we're going to paste right over it, but we're only going to paste the values. Okay, and so when we paste the values, then the next time you notice there's no more formulas in here. It's only the values. Okay, so what year did you first eat Chick-fil-A? So I'm going to copy this. I already have it in order. And so I'm going to copy it like this, and I'm going to go to Unit 1, Week 3. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to say, year first eating Chick-fil-A, transpose paste. Great, done. Year first eat Chick-fil-A. Expect to spend on a meal. Okay, I'm going to go back here. How much would you expect to spend on a meal? Copy, Control C. Then I'm going to come right here. Transpose. Something happened, but it still worked. Tolerable travel time. I'm going to come right back here. How many minutes are you willing to travel? Control C. And then I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to put Control V. Once again, you got to be careful, because that's the wrong way to do it, right? You want to click on there, and then transpose. There we go. Tolerable travel time. And so now we need to do these, the rest of these. Okay. So in order to do this, I'm going to go back to where I had the qualitative frequency tables before. Okay. So I've got all these qualitative frequency tables before, and I'm going to literally just copy these. We're going to do Control C. I'm going to go to Unit 1, Week 3. And I am going to press Control V. Oops. There we go. Control V. And so this is literally just copied and pasted from before. Now, in each one of these, I'm about to put another column. Now, before we move on, we're going to do something really quick. All of these are qualitative, so we need to go through and we need to say, okay, which ones are possible, which ones are not. Can you calculate the mean with a qualitative variable? And the answer is no, so we're just going to put NA. And let's just drag NA all the way down. Can you calculate the median? With some of them. You cannot calculate the median with nominal, so let's just, we'll put NA, but you can calculate the median with ordinal. Okay. Can you calculate the mode? Definitely. Okay. Range? No. So NA. Variance? No. Standard deviation? No. So we're going to highlight all these, just drag it down. So now we know the only thing that we can calculate are the ones that are still open. Okay? The ones that are still open. So these, and then down here, let's see here. I'll show you exactly what that is. It's the same thing as, because it's nominal. It's either you're from Texas or you're not. It's not ordinal. That right there is nominal, so it's either you're from Texas or you're not. So it's the same thing as nominal. It's a nominal dichotomous variable. Okay, so let's go ahead and come down here, and we are going to find the mode for the favorite fast food location. Favorite fast food location. Okay, so the mode for the favorite fast food location, is it Subway, McDonald's, Taco Bell? It's whichever one occurs the most often. So it's going to be Chick-fil-A. So I'm just going to copy, Control C, and I'm going to put it right there and paste just the values. So Chick-fil-A is the mode. Favorite fast food location, or favorite type of fast food. Okay, so I'm going to sort. Oh, I don't even need to sort. It's already sorted from least to greatest. So it's going to be chicken. It's not going to be 100. It's going to be chicken. So I'm going to press Control C. Control V, and I'm going to paste just the values again. And then moving down, we're just going to go mode one after the other. You guys can do this by yourselves as well, but extremely likely is going to be the mode here. And then looking at all of these, which one occurs most often, it's going to be moderately likely. Then coming down here, looking at all of these, which one occurs most often, it's going to be slightly likely. Which these are not in order anymore. I don't know why. Let me move these. There we go. So now we got slightly unlikely, slightly likely. There we go. Just got out of order a little bit. And then this one right here, extremely unlikely, is the one that occurred most often. And just keep on looking for the one that occurs most often, right? And then last but not least, we've got all of these. I'm going to make this smaller, and then make this smaller, and we're actually going to click on here where it says group 1. I'm going to put not from Texas. Okay, not from Texas and from Texas, so Texas is actually technically the mode. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to put Texas as the mode. So Texas is the mode there, and now we need to find the median. This is where it gets a little tricky. You guys ready to find the median? Okay, in order to find the median of this, we've got it in order from extremely unlikely, moderately unlikely, slightly likely, moderately likely, extremely likely. So we've got likely chicken, okay, which you can put chicken if you want to, okay, frequency or likelihood of chicken. And so it says, how likely are you to purchase chicken? Let's pull it back into frequency again. Notice it's got that, except I'm going to change it. Instead of the count, okay, I'm going to right click and I'm going to say show values as % of running total. Okay, % of running total, and I'm going to do cumulative frequency, or better yet, cumulative relative frequency. Okay, so we've got the cumulative relative frequency right there. So how do we know what the median is? The way, because that's the next thing that we need to find, right? We need to find the median. We already know the mode. Okay, so looking at this right here, what is the mode? The mode is going to be extremely likely is the mode, and then the median is going to be the first variable, or the first option there, not variable, but the first response option that goes over 50%. The first response option that goes over 50%. So you'll notice there's 1.36 below here, 5.88 below here, 9.5 below. So it's 9.5 is slightly unlikely or less, right? 29.41 is slightly likely or less. Or moderately likely is 52.94 or less. In other words, this right here is the very first one that crosses over that 50% threshold. Okay. Give me a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to put right here, first one over 50% is the median, and I'm also going to put it right here. And so now now we know moderately likely is the median. Okay. So we've got the median. So we're going to do, we've got the median and we've got the mode. So we're going to do Control C, Control V, but only paste the values. Okay. So we've got the likelihood of chicken. We've got the median. We put that in there, and we also have the mode. So now we know the mode. Let's look at this one, the likelihood of a burger. The mode is going to be moderately likely. So the mode, we're going to put it right there for the mode. Whoops. Mode is right there, and we're going to put the median right there. So let's find out what the median is. What do you guys think the median is going to be? Well, there's 221, so it's going to be the first one that crosses over. So it's going to be the 111th observation. So if I put all 111 observations out, if I had 25 observations of extremely unlikely, and then after I have 25 observations of extremely unlikely, then I would have 13 observations of moderately unlikely, 25 observations of slightly unlikely, then 50 observations of slightly likely, and so on and so forth. So it would be the 111th. So if I were to say put this one in here, count, we're going to put cumulative frequency, okay, and we're going to say right click, and we're going to say show values as running total. Now I did this one a little bit different. Running total. The reason why is because I told you it's going to be the 111th. Okay, the 111th. And so we know that slightly likely contains the 111th observation, because this one contains up to the 63rd. This one contains up to the 113th. So 111 is 2 under that, so that it's going to be slightly likely. Okay. Now, if I were to display it, let's do right click, show values as percent of running total. So we're just changing it to a percent. You'll see it's 51.13, so it's also, the first one over 50%. So I'm going to press Control C, bring it over here, Control V. Once again, just paste the values, and I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to do one more for you guys, and then you guys can do the rest by yourselves. And that's pretty much the entirety of it for this lecture. So this is the last one. We know that so we're going to do the mode right here. Mode, median. The mode is the one that occurs most often, so it's going to be slightly likely. Control C, Control V. And then the median, I'm going to drag this into here. And then I'm going to, sorry, don't double click on that. I'm going to do right click, summarize, or show values as percent of running total. Okay, and I'm going to change this to cum relative frequency. And so we've got the cumulative relative frequency, so it's slightly likely is the mode, and it just happens to be that slightly likely, Control C, is also the median. So slightly likely is the mode and the median. But is slightly likely, is that also the mean? No, because you can't have a mean. So that's how you do it with the qualitative data, with the quantitative data, and when all is said and done, you're going to have it up here. It's going to look like this. And when you go through my example, you'll notice it says, okay, this is, oh, it should say you cannot have it for nominal data, sorry. Nominal data. You cannot have it for nominal. So you cannot have a median for nominal data, but for ordinal data, it is going to be the first one that goes over 50. So it's going to be that one, it's going to be this one, this one, this one, first one over 50%. So even though it's all the way up there, even if it was right here, which I think we're getting to one. Oh no, that one, Italian. Yeah, so moderately unlikely is the median. And then coming down here, it's slightly likely. And then all the way down here, there is no median because it is nominal data. So that's the long and short of this one. Hopefully it was beneficial to you. Sorry I got started a little bit with just trying to make sure that you didn't do too much in a certain area. Hope this was beneficial. Thanks.